Have you ever wondered if a legendary band can truly go back to its roots, or if the magic is gone forever? That's the question surrounding La Futura, the 2012 album by ZZ Top. After decades of success, massive hits in the 1980s, and a long silence in the studio, the band returned with a record that many critics called a return to glory. But was it really a comeback, or just nostalgia wrapped in modern production? Today we're going to take a closer look at La Futura, the 15th studio album from ZZ Top, produced by legendary producer Rick Rubin. We'll talk about the music, the sound, the controversy around the album's production, and whether this record truly captured the spirit of classic ZZ Top again. And by the end of the video, we'll answer the question we started with: did Rick Rubin actually help bring ZZ Top back to life? When La Futura was released in 2012, it had been 9 years since ZZ Top's previous studio album, Mescalero. During that time, the band was mostly focused on touring. There was still a strong live act, but the studio releases weren't making the same impact they once had. Part of the problem was the direction the band had taken in the late 80s and 90s. Albums like Eliminator and Afterburner had massive commercial success, but they also introduced heavy synthesizers, drum machines, and glossy production. The sound worked in the MTV era, but over time it pulled the band further away from the gritty Texas blues rock that made them famous. So when ZZ Top teamed up with producer Rick Rubin, the mission was simple: strip everything back down. So what did that mean? It meant no overproduction, no gimmicks, just blues, boogie, and attitude. If you know anything about Rick Rubin, you know he has a very different approach to producing music. Rubin doesn't see himself as a traditional producer. Instead, he often describes himself as a fan sitting in the room. His goal isn't to control the artist. His goal is to help them rediscover who they really are. Rubin believes that the biggest obstacles to creativity are things like ego, competition, commercial expectations, and self-doubt. His philosophy is simple: remove the noise and let the artist connect to the heart of the music. For ZZ Top, that meant going back to the sound that made them legends in the first place. The raw Texas blues rock heard on classic albums like Tres Hombres and Fandango. But getting there wasn't easy. The making of La Futura took 4 years. Instead of writing songs the traditional way, ZZ Top and Rubin spent long sessions jamming, recording ideas, and capturing small musical snippets. By the end of the process, they had recorded enough material to fill about 20 CDs worth of music. From that massive collection of riffs, grooves, and ideas, they slowly narrowed it down to 10 songs. The goal was to find the tracks that felt the most natural, the most earthy, and the most authentic. The result was an album that feels very different from their 80s work. The synthesizers are gone, the drum machines are gone. What's left is a dusty, gritty blues rock record that sounds like it came straight out of the Texas desert. The album opens with one of the most unusual songs in ZZ Top's catalog, I Gotsta Get Paid. The track is actually based on a hip-hop song called 25 Lighters by Houston rapper DJ DMD. But instead of turning it into a rap track, ZZ Top transformed the idea into something completely different. The result is a slow, hypnotic groove that blends hip-hop rhythm with greasy Texas blues. The guitars are thick and distorted, the rhythm is heavy and repetitive, and the whole thing feels almost like a desert blues trance. It's strange, but it works. It's also a reminder that even after decades in the business, ZZ Top was still willing to experiment. Another standout track on the album is Chartreuse. This is classic ZZ Top boogie. The guitars are crunchy, the groove is infectious. The whole song feels like it could have come straight from the band's 1970s era. The riff is simple but effective, and it highlights something that ZZ Top has always done well: turning minimalism into power. You don't need complicated arrangements when the groove is this strong. Another highlight is the blues ballad Over You. This track shows the softer side of the band. The song features emotional vocals and expressive guitar work that clearly draws inspiration from blues legends like Albert King and Otis Rush. The guitar tone here is warm and soulful, gives the album a moment of real depth. One of those songs where the band slows things down and lets the emotion breathe. The album also includes a cover of It's Too Easy Mañana, originally written by Gillian Welch and David Rawlings. ZZ Top turns the song into a slow, grinding blues piece. The groove is heavy and almost hypnotic. The guitars are layered with dirt and grit. It's not flashy, but it perfectly fits the overall mood of the album. The record, songs like Have a Little Mercy and Consumption reinforce the idea that ZZ Top was trying to reconnect with their roots. The riffs are blues-based, the rhythms are simple, and the production emphasizes guitar, bass, and drums rather than studio effects. For longtime fans, it felt like the band had finally rediscovered the sound that made them great in the first place, but not everyone was completely happy. Despite the positive reviews for the music itself, La Futura became part of a much bigger conversation happening in the music industry. The issue was something called the Loudness War. Starting in the mid-1990s, many producers and labels began pushing recording to be louder and louder. To achieve this, engineers often compress the music heavily. This reduces the dynamic range, the difference between the quiet and loud parts of a song. When this compression becomes extreme, it can lead to distortion and a lot of warmth in the recording. Critics say that some albums mastered this way sound harsh or fatiguing. And unfortunately, Rick Rubin has often been mentioned in this debate. Some audiophiles argue that albums he produced, including projects for Metallica and Kanye West, were mastered too loudly. La Futura has also been criticized for heavy compression. For casual listeners, this may not be a big issue, but for audiophiles who care deeply about sound quality, it remains a controversial point. Another interesting part of the story is Rubin himself. Over the years, he has become almost a mythical figure in music production. He's known for his long beard, calm personality, and almost spiritual approach to creativity. Inside the studio, Rubin has also undergone a dramatic personal transformation. At one point, he weighed more than 300 pounds, but over time, he lost more than 130 pounds through major lifestyle changes. His routine now includes strict nutrition, low-intensity aerobic training, and even extreme recovery practices like sauna sessions and ice baths. Some people describe him as Zen monk of music production, and that mindset has clearly influenced the way he worked with ZZ Top. Instead of forcing the band into a modern style, he helped them reconnect with the music that originally inspired them. So how does La Futura hold up today? In many ways, it feels like a successful reset for ZZ Top. The album strips away the overproduction of their later years and brings the band back to its blues roots. The grooves are strong and the guitars sound great, and the songs capture that dusty Texas atmosphere that made the band famous. Is it as legendary as albums like Tres Hombres? Probably not, but it does something important. It reminds us why ZZ Top mattered in the first place, and in that sense, the collaboration with Rick Rubin worked. The band rediscovered its identity. Even the production sparked a debate. Among audiophiles, the spirit of the music feels authentic again. So, going back to the question we started with. Did Rick Rubin save ZZ Top? Maybe save is too strong a word, but he helped them reconnect with their roots, and sometimes that's exactly what a legendary band needs. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to check out my full ZZ Top playlist appearing on the screen right now, where I dive into more albums for the band. Actually, with this video, I've actually reviewed every single ZZ Top studio album, so that's all in over there. And if you like rock and metal reviews, deep dive, music history, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.